Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. Are you sitting comfy? You better be sitting comfy because today we're about to find out who's gonna win this. The highly coveted Karen in the Wild award. That's right, it is an episode of Entitled Parents. Entitled Parents in the Wild, Entitled Parents in my house. I don't know why I said that, they're totally not in my house. Should we just get on with it, maybe? Do you know what I think's happened? I've had a haircut and so much has come off the ends just to healthen it up. You know, keep it healthy. The curls are just going ferocious and all that energy, all that wild bounce is going to my head. Entitled dad wants kid to ride my dog. No. Right, I've had an epiphany recently where I've realised that messages can still be messages whilst I still have some fun. I don't know why, I feel like I've held back a lot of spice. I'm not doing that anymore, peaches. I'm just simply not doing it. So gone is the number scale. Instead, we are rating from Karen, who twerks in a supermarket while shouting at the manager. Because why not? To understanding parents telling their child lovingly that they get that it must be hard and wants to give them a hug. All right, that's our scale. Let's go. My dog, says OP, was not feeling very well. Oh, there's one thing sadder than an entitled parent post, and that's one where an animal is in disrepute. You know what I mean. Poor dog. We were sitting in the waiting room of the vet's office. Oh, do you know when someone says riding an animal, the first thing that comes to my head is riding my pony, and the second thing that comes to my mind is not the vet's office. Just anywhere but the vet's office. That is the worst place to try and ride someone's dog. You just shouldn't be trying to ride people's dogs. A family sat down across from me and the father saw my dog and told his daughter. So the daughter, she didn't even choose to do it. Okay, the daughter looked about 2 or 3 to go and meet Lassie. Everything was fine until she decided to start climbing onto his back. Poor dog's being misgendered too. He's having a rough day. I said no, he has arthritis and doesn't feel well. Please don't do that. The girl's father jumped up and ran over and started screaming so close to my face that I could feel his spit. Ew. He said I had no business bringing a dog like that in here if it wasn't good with the kids, and that there was something wrong with me if I wouldn't let a lassie dog play with kids. There is an ill dog at the vet's. It could be an ill marshmallow fluff. Why would you think that it would be a good idea to approach it in the vet? Riddle me this, father. Tell me how this is in any way good parenting. I told the dad that the dog has arthritis and isn't feeling well, and I didn't want her trying to ride him. I appreciate you saying that, but at the same time, I simply don't appreciate the fact that anybody feels it's okay to ride someone else's dog, or just to ride a dog. That's weird, right? Not just me. It's very odd. Dad verbally abused me. Oh no, some more, and told me to take the dog out of here, the vet's office, if it wasn't okay for his daughter to play with him. Where are the vets? My dog was perfectly well behaved. He always is. I was trying to protect him. Oh, good boy. I looked over at the vet techs, hoping they would step in, but they were on the phone. To be fair, this is annoying, and I actually can see this happening. At our old vets, the receptionist could see everything that was going on, but they were constantly on the phone. I felt bad. That ringing must be something that they hear in their dreams. Every time I go to the vet, it was just always the same ringtone. It's picking up. Please hold. Not very cool. Oh my goodness. So I kind of get it. Dad said, here lassie, here girl, and then picked up his daughter and held her over my dog to try and place her on my dog's back. What is your dog's name? I feel bad for not addressing Mr. Dog, but oh my dog. That is not okay. Not okay. I grabbed my dog's leash and pulled him out from under her just in time, and the kid started to whine. I said, he's a boy and he's here to see the vet. He's not a horse and he's not here for your kid to ride. Yeah, you tell him, OP. This resulted in a lot more verbal abuse from him. And I kept wishing that the vet techs would get off the phone and do something. Is there nobody else in the vets at this time as well? Like, I don't know. I would totally step in. I was like, would I step in? Yeah, I'd step in. Not judging people who wouldn't step in. I appreciate that a lot of people might be significantly more introverted or just like not feel like they're in a safe space. I guess there are days where I'd feel a need to be more quiet than others. It reminds me of the study that I came across during my PhD too. That wasn't a flex. I was literally just trying to introduce this. Shut up, Shaaba. Move on. The study showed that when you played video games where you acted as a hero of some kind, right, like saving people, taking people to destinations, swerving them away from disasters in like a little game, more people who had that exposure would then significantly carry out what's seen as heroic acts in real life, like stepping in when a stranger was being harassed by somebody that they didn't know, when compared to a control group where they were playing something like Tetris. I just think that's really cool. It has no correlation to this video whatsoever, but you know, every day is school day here on the Shaaba channel, so you're welcome. Reading on, he was still berating me when a vet tech called my name and led me and my dog into an exam room. My dog was treated for gastroenteritis and recovered just fine. Gastroenteritis. Oh, the inflammation of the tummy. Oh no. Oh, your doggy had a poorly tummy. Update, he's fine. His arthritis bothers him sometimes, but he's enjoying life. Probably because he doesn't have little kids trying to ride him like a horsey. Fortunately, I never saw that entitled father again. I'm glad. I still get steamed whenever I remember him. Like a bow bun, I bet. Man, that would bug me so much. Entitled dad is definitely a Karen twerking on the meat counter waiting to speak to the manager right now. Like, that is some of the most entitled behavior I think I've seen, like heard of, on the land of the internet. It's funny. I've never seen something like this in real life. I imagine a lot of this happens in America. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that seems to be where a lot of the posts come from. And I wonder if just people are more outspoken with their entitlement. Our spirits are perhaps a little bit too reserved for that kind of public display. We keep all our bitchiness for at home. Let's read on. I'd have bitten him myself, and I would... Oh, I was gonna say I would have joined you. I would not. I would not. But I appreciate the sentiment. Did you say anything to the vet? My vet would have kicked his ass out. No, I didn't, says OP. He was raising such a stink in the waiting room that there was no way that they could have missed what was going on. Other people were quiet and watching us, so there were other people there. That makes me really unjustifiably annoyed. I get it. It's nobody's job to step in as like a bystander to help somebody out, but I would like to think that if I was in a position where someone was not being very kind to me, that I would step in. And there's a way to do it to diffuse a situation and not antagonize a situation. And one of those methods would absolutely include being a little telltale snitch. Like, you live your best snitchy life and you go over to that vet's and you're like, hello, excuse me, I know you're on the phone, but there's an emergency happening right now. Actually, maybe don't use the word emergency to vet. But you know, one of your little doggy clients is about to be squished by a 3-year-old. I think we should stop that. And then the vets would like step in and get involved because that's what they're trained to do. That's what they should be trained to do. I'm putting that a good here on our twerking scale right here. A definite contender for the coveted entitlement award, I should say. Should we find another one? Karen tried to make her son steal my donuts. Why does everything sound like an innuendo today? You leave my donuts alone. I like my donuts. No consensual touching of the donuts. My local supermarket has half off on baked goods. Oh my goodness. I was like, donuts don't get much better. Half price donuts. You don't even have to buy me dinner first, babe. Let's go. Like, focaccia. You totally spelled that wrong, but it's okay, babe. Donuts and sausage rolls. You get the gist. Every evening at 8 p.m. sharp. I normally take advantage of this if I just can't be bothered with cooking or if I've been so busy that I didn't have the time for it. Fair. You live your best pastry self. I see it. I respect it. We move. Well, when there today. First come, first takers, and I'm starting to fill up some of the store supplies plastic bags with items. Today was pizza rolls, donuts, and muffins. Well, I got the last donuts of the day. This is fine. This is totally fine. A part of me was just like, like the part of me that was raised to be a good little Asian girl, which absolutely meant never taking the last thing off the plate. Like, the people pleaser in me is just like, but what if somebody else wants a donut? I'd need to leave a donut, but no, it's okay. You can take the donuts. They're there for you to take. It's all good. OP says, and whilst usually I have my headphones on at high volume, I decided to pull one of the sides slightly off so I can hear if someone is passing behind me or wanting to get the goods as well, etc, etc. Okay, so it's not like you're there like just like nudging people out the way, making sure you're the only person that gets the baked goods. You're willing to share. It's all good. A conscientious pastry critic connoisseur, I see you. A mum, likely in her 40s, and her son, probably around the age of 10, then come up to my side when I'm still hearing music, and I can see her because the glass door to the goods is just reflective enough. Okay, so you're at the donut counter. You're poised, you're ready, and I see her point at the donuts in my basket. Oh! And say something to her son. The son then reaches down to my donuts and grabs the bag, and I turn around immediately and yell, hands off my donuts, which unfortunately very much scares the kid. He starts crying and his mum immediately starts yelling back, as they normally do. Never surrender. Karen 101. Thank you for the advice, friend. We have a small back and forth while still being loud, which attracts some employees. They try and get the situation under control, and thankfully one of them recognizes me because I shop there at least 3 or 4 times a week and also knows that I mainly come in for the baked goods sale. Even better is that they'd seen me take the last donuts. Okay, so you had witnesses, baby. You had receipts. As they explained this to the mum, who's now realizing what's going on, she immediately jumps ship and demands that I apologize for startling her son and that I could at least give him a donut for scaring him. Hold up. So mum literally instructed the kid to take something from someone else's basket. It's not like it was on the shelf as you were looking. You'd literally taken them already. They were in your basket. basket. You're like, I am buying these. She didn't have the courage to do it herself. She used her child to do it for her as a tiny little thieving minion to take from your basket. And only when she realized that some people had seen that happen and could verify the truth did she switch tracks and then try and capitalize on the fact that her actions led to her son feeling very embarrassed and therefore crying. She wanted to try and manipulate you into giving the son the donut. Right, I get it now. Whilst I hear how ridiculous this is, I'm not gonna lie, I would totally have given the kid a donut. Does that make me a weak person? Does that mean that I'm still not fixed yet from my trauma? Whatever it means, that kid would totally be getting a donut. And look, they deserve it because that mum sounds difficult. I'm not saying that you had to give the kid a donut. I'm saying I would give the kid a donut. Stop, don't you attack me, Peaches. Hear me. Me, says OP, having lost all sense of patience, just says, I usually don't give stuff to thieves, and today it's not that day either. Oh, to channel the sass and confidence of this OP. I could never. I wish, but I could never. I'm ready to pay, by the way. Hair flip, I added that, but you can totally see it, right? We went to the cashier to pay. I could still hear the son crying and the mum getting angry. As I walked out, some people who've been following the whole ordeal said that the mum was right and that I could have at least given this kid a donut. Yeah, but did you need to? No. Is that entitled? I don't think so. I absolutely don't think so, because they took from your basket. I've never heard of something like that happening. I've heard of people like jokingly putting things into baskets, but this is what I mean. Does this kind of thing happen in the UK? Do people just like yoink? I don't technically haven't paid for it, but it is in your possession, so it's yours. For all intents and purposes, right? It's yours. This is very naughty. All right, mum, where does she fit on the scale? Where does she fit? I'm gonna put her solidly. No, she's more than a middle. The question is she more than doggy riding dad? And I don't think she is. I'm gonna put her behind. I'm sorry, Karen. You are no longer in the running for the coveted award, but you do get a special recommendation because this is very entitled behaviour. Okay, contender number 3. Entitled mother thinks that she can use the park without regard for others. What is she doing in the park? I have questions. On Easter Sunday morning, my sister was walking her dog at the local park that has a dedicated dog park section fenced in. I think I understand. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. I get it now. As she was doing this, she bumped into a woman, most likely a mum, alerting her and anybody going in and out of the dog park that she was hiding chocolate Easter eggs in the area just outside said dog park entrance for children to hunt for later in the day. Wait, just outside the entrance of the dog park. Okay, wait, so she's not putting the eggs in the dog park area. She's just courteously letting people know, and this is how I'm seeing it, that there is chocolate on the ground in the general park vicinity because you have a little dog that's got a little snut and the snut's not good for the chocolate with the snut with the dog, so beware of the eggs. This is what I'm hearing. Let's read on. Aside from the obvious chocolate being bad for dogs, like for those who don't know, like really bad, chocolate can kill dogs. This is not okay. Placing them so high to a dog traffic area is just asking for trouble. Leashed or not, dogs will be sniffing around and might find and eat a chocolate egg before their owner realizes what is up. I agree. Also, is Egg Mum going to stay in the park and like tell every single person to make them aware? Because if she's going to go away and then come back, then she can't tell every dog owner. It just feels a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. The more I think about it, the more weird it feels. Like the fact that actual chocolate eggs would go on the floor. Normally, from what I understand, these hunts are done with like little fake eggs, like little plastic eggs, or just non-edible ones, non-ones that are going to cause problems, and non-ones that when kids pick up, they can then like exchange it and be like, give me a giant egg because I found 10 of your tiny plastic eggs. Do you know what I mean? Instead of being like, I'm now going to eat the 10 eggs that I have found sitting in the muddy ground of a public park where dogs poop and pee. And I'm going to put it in my mouth. Yeah, just it doesn't feel right, you know? Anyway, with the way the park is designed, says OP, there's a children's playground further north that would be ideal for egg hiding, as there are many places for them to hide. The area just outside the dog park entrance opens up to a baseball diamond, which limits where you could hide them due to it mostly being a big open field. Way too big for small kids to wander around in. And mixing the traffic with dogs going to the park. Also, one might not remember all the places that the eggs were hidden. There was a fantastic Bob's Burgers episode about just that. So there would be leftover trash lying around for some other animal to eat the next day. Yeah, it just feels a bit weird. It's a bit weird. I imagine she probably didn't even reserve reserve the area for the event either, just figured out that she could use it whenever or however she wanted. Imagine if there was a baseball league game scheduled for the same time. The audacity. Or, one could instead host the egg hunt in your backyard and not in a public park. Look, I think it's cute that someone's trying to do such an effort, especially if it's a community effort. Like if Entitled Mum's idea behind that was like, let's see if any kid who comes to the park and frequents, because we know that parents bring their kids after school or whatever, like that could be cute. I don't shun mum for trying to do something in a public area. I do think it is very entitled. It's very blinkered. It's very, I'm just trying to think of a different word for entitled. It's entitled to think that you can do anything in the park without thinking about dogs and their little snoots. It's just a bit silly. I see the good intentions. I also see how hell is paved with good intentions. I think on a scale of entitled mums, this is a weak tea, right? This is herbal at best. This is not twerking mum on the meeting counter in your local LD. This is a silly mum. Teaching the kid to go pick up random things in an open park and then eating them is a great life lesson. A-star parenting for you. Random small brown nuggets just outside a dog park, no less. No, that's terrible. I mean, I'm assuming they're wrapped in some form of like shiny, colourful wrapping. This does remind me of a time though where a loved one, I shall keep them nameless, was out walking with some dogs, funnily enough, and they were throwing pine cones. Like they were picking up pine cones and chucking them for the dogs to like go and go grab. And she picked up a pine cone from the floor and it wasn't a pine cone. It was a giant dried turd. At least it was dried on the outside. You're welcome. Next up, random mushrooms, because surely they're all edible. All right, calm down, internet. I see that it was a cute endeavour for parents, and let's be real, kids put loads of crap in their mouths anyway, but it still doesn't make it right. Just imagine how many of those candies might have pee-pee or poo-poo all over them before the kids even get to them, especially if you're leaving them in a park. It's just a bit odd. No. All right, shall we do one more? You are totally out the running, egg mum, but I appreciate your presence. Swappa! EP tries to steal my cat. This is rude. You could come between me and many things, but me and my kitties? No. No. I say this with a straight face. No. I live in terraced flats, says OP. No space between the houses, so my cats like to cross over to the gardens to explore. We usually don't have any issues, but this is one that spanned many years. Okay, before we read on, I'm going to say something that might sound really controversial. I often see people talking about their cats going outside. I didn't realise this until I spoke to someone who told me, and it caught me so much by surprise, but cats are actually not supposed to go outside. Like, beyond your house or beyond your garden. It's a thing where owners should be doing everything that they can to make sure that their cats don't go beyond their property, and the reason being is because it's for their own safety, right? Like, the idea is cats are dumb. We know cats can be very, very silly, and they can run into cars, or they can get kidnapped by other people, or they can just put themselves in dangerous situations, and nobody wants anything bad to happen to their cats, and so you're just not supposed to pick your cat outside unless you're like on a leash, or unless you got it like in some way fenced off. I hear that. At the same time, maybe it's just me being really like lazy and not thinking about it enough, I have not followed such advice. That's why it came as a shock to me. I thought everybody just like let their cats outside. There are some cats that you can't let outside, right? But there are many cats, especially like when you get cats who have already gone outside, like it feels so mean to just leave them inside when they're clearly very distressed and wanting to go outside because they know what the outside is, right? Well, maybe not right, but that's my reasoning for it. I don't put GPS tags on my cats, but I think we've been very fortunate in all the places where we've lived where the cats have like had an area, like a garden. We've had a garden that backed off onto like this little forest area, which was really, really cute, and the little Apollo loved roaming around in that. Now we have a garden and like the cats pretty much stay in the garden. Prawn does sometimes pop over into the neighbour's garden and it's very annoying for me because he doesn't come back, but the neighbour loves it. It's all good. It's fine. We've got a good thing going on. All of this to say, I don't know what side you sit on. I am not going to make this a conversation about that. I honestly don't know what's right, because I've spoken to some vets who have said, yeah, if you have a new kitten that's not going outdoors, you really should keep them indoors. It's very difficult as well when you have one cat already going outdoors and the other one doesn't, which the vet says, but still best to keep them indoors. And then I've spoken to other vets who are just like, no, it's actually really distressing. It makes them a lot happier if they go outside. So I don't know. That's not what this video is about. I can totally see. I anticipate comments coming about that, and I anticipate seeing things on the forum about that. I wanted to address it. You're welcome to share your views downstairs in the comment section. Just be kind. Remember to be kind. All right. EP and ED, entitled parent, entitled daughter. Oh, that's new. Like to feed treats to my cat. This might not sound like a problem, but my cat quickly gained weight and wouldn't come home. Cats are like that. I bet you that cat's doing that on purpose. Instead, he would sit outside EP's door, waiting for treats, sometimes all night long. One day, I'm sick and tired of telling her to stop, only for the entitled parent to keep letting the entitled daughter feed them, so we confronted her on this. My mum knocked on the door and politely asked them to stop feeding the cat. The entitled parent said, well, it comes in my garden. That makes it my cat. I mean, no, I wasn't trying to contemplate that there was any logic behind that. That is very, very stupid. If I come around to your house because you invited me to a barbecue, it doesn't mean that you now own me as a person and can stuff whatever you want. Like, that's not how ownership and land works. OP goes on to say that before me and mum have time to respond, she begins to close the door, and my mum holds open the door, demanding that she stops. The entitled parent continues to waffle about owning my cat. The neighbours begin to listen in, mostly taking our side. The entitled mum says, I am calling the police. You assaulted me. A full-on screaming match ensues. Oh no. Neighbours break it up and the police arrive. Oh, for neighbours to break it up, that means that something went down, right? No charges were given because a dent in the wall is an assault. Oh no, did you like dunk the door and the door made a bendy in the wall? My words are failing me, but you get what I mean, right? Is that what happened? Because that's not okay. You shouldn't be using force, right? In any of these altercations, that is immediate, like, I can't side with that. We can't agree that this is an okay thing to happen. Anyway, we call their landlord and tell them the story. The landlord prohibits them from feeding the cat, and we haven't had to call them since. Oh dear. I mean, to be fair, this all would have happened if entitled mum did just listen and was just like, yeah, I shouldn't be feeding your cat. Honestly, I personally don't understand the big outrage. I think the cats are just little curious beings, you know? They wander. It's what they do. Like, I feel like if I saw somebody else's cat in my garden, I have many times, as long as they're not disrupting or destroying my land, in which case I'd just be like, pss, 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 you know, or affecting my cat, I would just leave them be. I wouldn't feed them because it is just so annoying. You don't know what allergies another person's pet has. You just don't know if this is a safe thing to be feeding them, if they've already eaten, you don't want them to chuck up. Like, for many reasons, I wouldn't feed. But I'd be like, oh, cute little kitty. And then I would go about my day. Why does it need to be a big deal? I do think this is entitled behaviour. I definitely think it's entitled for you to be like, oh, therefore it's my cat because I feed it when it comes into my property. Like, no. It's sad that it ended up the way that it did, but in terms of the scale and entitled parenting behaviour, I think this sits like middle. This is middle ground. This isn't egg mum. This is higher than egg mum, but it's definitely lower than dog dad, and I reckon lower than donut trolley mum too. Wow. I think we've got the results. Do you agree? Let me know. You could keep your cat inside. Problem solved. Told you. People love to let their cats out and make a surprise Pikachu face when something happens to it. Oh, entitled pet parents. It's hard. Someone else says if you're a cat, you'd like to go outside and explore too. Trapping the cat inside is just going to make them more depressed. Cats like a bit of freedom, especially if they've had freedom before. At the same time, I see it from both sides. But honestly, regardless of where you sit on this debate, I definitely just think that you shouldn't be taken out on the cat. And you just shouldn't be feeding the cat if you don't know what the dietary requirements are. You wouldn't feed someone else's child, would you? Unless that child was like, feed me, I'm very, very hungry and I need help. But like, you wouldn't just randomly, because you saw a child in the park, just give them food. So why do it to someone else's pet? That was a terrible example, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. I think we have our winner, Dog Dad. This is your award today. I don't know why I made Dog Dad sound like it was some superhero call. Dog Dad. Anyway, that was fun. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Entitled Parents. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll catch you next time with another video. Try not to be entitled, be kind, and have a great day. Bye!